Shawn Levy has directed many of my generation's favorite films. Night at the Museum,
Your name, Dum Dum.
Real Steel, Deadpool and Wolverine made $1 billion, and this man is almost single-handedly responsible for Stranger Things. Yet, when his new Star Wars movie was announced, suddenly Shawn Levy is public enemy number one.
No faith that it's gonna be any good.
So, like, let's say you're a Disney executive and you have no soul and you're like, hey, I need to make the most amount of money. Who's the director that made the most amount of money for anything? Shawn Levy.
Star Wars Celebration recently wrapped up, and with a bunch of varying announcements I am both upset and intrigued by. One of those being the new Star Wars movie directed by Shawn Levy. Don't get me wrong though, don't put words in my mouth. Actually, don't put anything in my mouth without my permission. Is Shawn Levy the best director ever? No. But is he the safest mainstream choice for Disney and Lucasfilm right now? Yes. Maybe with the dream team of a director like Shawn Levy and an actor like Ryan Gosling, we'll actually get a new Star Wars film that isn't quietly canceled behind the scenes. Over and over again.
Where was it they announced the Rey movie? They've been oddly quiet about the Rey movie.
Yeah.
At this point, I'll take it, because I am not all that interested in whatever Mandalorian and Grogu is. I really can't be bothered to care about any of the Mandalorian era story or characters. Maybe I'm jaded, maybe I'm old, maybe I'm both. Currently, it's really hard for me to care about Star Wars because I don't know what Star Wars is anymore. I don't know what it is to me as a fan anymore. I feel like they've sucked me dry. I feel like that one weird creature from SpongeBob, you know, the one that wants chocolate.
Chocolate. I remember when they first invented chocolate. Sweet, sweet chocolate. I always hated it.
I'm about 25, so I remember when the prequels released, I remember when the Clone Wars animated show released, and I was 15 when The Force Awakens released. So let's just say I was a pretty big Star Wars fan. But I've realized I don't enjoy Star Wars just because. Just because they make an Obi-Wan show doesn't mean I'll love it if it's bad. And Disney announcing yet another animated show about Darth Maul doesn't get me horned up like it used to. And I've been wondering lately, why is that? I loved the stories of the original trilogy, even the fall of Anakin from the prequels. But what else does Star Wars have to say in these same eras? Especially when it keeps telling the same stories from the same time period with the same characters over and over. Do we need a show about Obi-Wan and Darth Vader confronting each other again? Do we need another confrontation between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader that goes nowhere? Mandalorian was good, but then it became a vessel for Disney to retcon the sequel trilogy after it already concluded. The Mandalorian was a good singular show about the Mandalorian and Grogu on an adventure together, and now ties into Ahsoka and the Book of Boba Fett and this and Star Wars keeps going back to the old characters and the old eras, barely telling new stories while trying to mine the nostalgia of the franchise for everything it's worth. Speaking of that, Andor is really good. Andor is set right before the original trilogy, and yet it feels fresh. It's a perfect political thriller, and when these shows or movies are good, they are good. But even though Andor is good, do we really need to keep beating the original trilogy dead horse? Look, I get it. Star Wars is for everyone, but that's kind of the problem. People love Star Wars. People love the characters in Star Wars that they've loved for 50 years. Everyone has an opinion about what makes a Star War good, but not everybody agrees, which is perfectly normal. But for a franchise that is 50 years old, and the franchise keeps retconning over the same time period, adding more and more to a franchise that is already inherently bloated and always has been, well, no wonder people are upset that Shawn Levy is touching their precious hyperspace.
I don't know. I heard that
Shawn Levy is announced to direct a new Star Wars, and people are pissed.
Come again.
Shawn Levy is making a new Star Wars movie in a new era with new characters, and people are pissed. I'm more pissed about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I keep forgetting that thing is happening. Mandalorian started as a new, fresh piece of content that has quickly turned into a monstrosity, screeching its way through an era that nobody cares about, while desperately trying to justify those films that already released almost a decade ago. The Mandalorian is attempting to set up plot points for a plot that already happened, which technically makes it just another prequel!
What have I done?
Star Wars continues to retcon and write over itself, saying, oh, this character is actually alive now. It was cute in 2019 when the sequels were concluding and all hope was lost, but now it's sad, desperate, and I need a hot shower. Actually, scratch that. I need a cold shower. This is why I am happy that Shawn Levy's Star Wars is not only a film that takes place, I guess what you would call the modern day post-sequel trilogy, but it's also a new story with a new character played by Ryan Gosling. Generations have been born, lived, and died, while fucking Darth Vader, who died in 1983, is still one of the faces of the franchise. Mandalorian and Grogu are probably the only new characters that have been created that fans actually like. Rey is a wet rag. Finn is a Chad in the making, and it's sad that the actor John Boyega has become so jaded by his experiences with the franchise. So has Daisy Ridley, but you pay her enough and she'll join the franchise again. Speaking of that, Disney and Lucasfilm have announced so many Star Wars projects over the last 5 years, then canceled them or quietly kicked them under the rug, that I'm starting to think they don't know what they're doing. They brought Daisy Ridley onto a stage in front of fans and announced a Rey film, and that's not happening, I guess.
They've been oddly quiet about the Rey movie.
So when a Shawn Levy Star Wars film is announced, which will move the franchise forwards with a new character, I'll take it. And we should all take it. We should all take it.